Good morning, champions. Welcome to the session. In today's session, we are going to deal with some of the MCQs, and I have named the session as English portion because it is going to be like a portion. Here we are giving you some kind of nutrients of English grammar, nutrients of English, your code IA, to crack the exam. So the name is a bit tricky to bring a twist and to bring some kind of more enthusiasm and zeal to the session. I have just added the word portion. আজিৰ সেশনত আমি আকৌ কিছুমান MCQs লৈ আহিছো যিবোৰ নেকি তোমালোকৰ এক্সাম ৰিলেটেড হ'ব আৰু আজিৰ সেশনটো অলপ দীঘলীয়া হ'ব. The session will be a bit longer because I have added 5 more questions to the usual 10 number of questions. So hope you will go through the session thoroughly, and I also insist that you all take on your rough copies to jot down the important concepts related to the MCQs. Okay, let's start with the session. So number 1, Reena, my cousin from Udayanagar, is elder dash me, but she is dash innocent dash handle grave situations. Now the options are, so here because the options are all related with to, I just want to add one thing, that the preposition to is very versatile, or we can say one of the dynamic prepositions which can be added to any kind of situations relating to direction, relating to any reason, relating to any comparison, or relating to some kind of orders related, or where you are about to follow some kind of rules. For example, I am going to my home. Then we can say the options are just so that it will help you to jot down and relate that to can be applied in a lot of situations, in different situations, and because of that you may get confused at times to apply to in what kind of a situation. So it may be direction, it may be a reason, it may be any kind of comparison, or it may be at times it may be related to some kind of rules or obligations. Now see, when we can apply to in so many different places, we term that preposition is very dynamic. So try to apply to and try to find out more places or more instances where to can be applied. So try to relate to, where you are putting to in which kind of sentences, in which kind of situations, so that it will help you to relate with your own compositions, with your own daily conversations. It is at the same time, it will also improve your vocabulary, it will improve your verbal ability, and at the same time it will help you for your exam. So iman keta gun ase, mane iman keta help hobo tumar jodi tumi to shobdo to preposition to apply kora nijor conversations or nijor compositions or aru use korar pisot tumi relate koribole try kora. Just think about it, just do a quick revision so that you can have you can know that to can be applied in different situations, and so it is called one of the dynamic preposition. Okay, so here what happens, the question itself, Reena is my cousin from Udhampur who is elder to. Now where there is a comparison between elder and younger, we always put here to. Okay, so we got one of the instance, one of the reason where we can put to. Then, but she is dash innocent. Now when there is an adjective where you are placing there is a blank before the adjective and something is related to some additional cause. Whenever there is some kind of additional cause or something in surplus, we put, which one? We put TOO. So try to relate whenever there is something excessive, some kind of profuseness or additional surplus thing, we put here TOO. So here it will be TOO, where the girl here Reena is too innocent. Tar mane bujaise olop beshi innocent to handle. Again, to handle is somewhere where we are again putting to because of some kind of a rule or some kind of a reason. So here to is about for a reason. We are getting the instance, and here to is because of the comparison. So champions, I want you all people to apply this kind of words, this kind of sentences, and try to find out the deeper meaning, that why to and why not for or why not with. So try to relate, try to make a difference, because this is the high time. Now as you are preparing for your CUET, little bit of dose additional to the session. So you are preparing for CUET, no doubt, but at the same time actually you are preparing for the long run of your life, where you are going to apply. These are not some of the demarcations, or these are not some of the standards where you are going to prepare for exam, prepare for a standard exam. That is not the thing. It is actually trying to uplift your potential. These kind of exams are going to assess your capacity in how or in which way you are going to express your potential. So try to relate the words, try whatever you understand, try whatever you have grasped today into your day-to-day activities, into the books where you are reading the newspaper or where you are reading any kind of novel. So you are getting a lot of leisure time. Apart from preparing for the CUET exam, you are going to interact with your families, with your relatives, doing some extracurricular works. Now because the exam is very near, so 21st May the declaration is already made. Before it was tentative, now it is, the declaration has been already made, and you have to prepare. By May you have to prepare for the exam in such a way that you will crack the exam with good marks. So continuing with the session question number 2, I just want to say that try to relate whatever you learn with your practical life. So that is going to help you in the long run. Okay. Hope this too, the concept of to as a preposition, is clear. Next question number 2. Strike the odd one out. So you have to strike the odd one. Castle, listen, ballet, button. Now what is the similarity with the 3 others and one is the odd one? So here what happens, the concept of verbal ability, I have tried, our team has actually tried to carve out, curated the question paper for the session today in such a way that it will going to help you in improving your verbal ability. So here what is referred is the pronunciation. So pronunciation here is important. Why? Because here the T consonant sound T is silent. So what we are doing, castle, listen, ballet. Here what happens, the T sound are missing. Here it is silent. The T sound is silent. And when it is silent, it is different from button. So we will strike the odd one out here and the answer will be button. One more thing which I didn't click in the previous question is, I will just click it out. So we got 2, 2, 2. So it will be option number B, where we are getting the option B is the correct option, is the correct answer. So next we have question number 3. First impression is the last impression. Identify the figure of speech. Now going into the options, before going into the options, try to find out what is the figure of speech. We have already done figure of speech in the live sessions, and we have already given you the recorded version of figure of speech with a lot of examples. So you are now at a pace, or you are now accustomed to what are the figures of speech. So when you get a sentence, when you are actually getting a sentence, or where you are getting the question to identify the figure of speech, what you need to do is try to understand the deeper meaning, that is the dual meaning or the underlining meaning of the sentence. So in that way you are going to relate the meaning with the figure of speech. Yes? So first impression is the last impression. সাধাৰণতে এইটো proverb বা এইটো phrase আমাৰ মা দেউতাহঁতে বিশেষকৈ কৈ থাকে. So even I am accustomed to this proverb from my parents, because my parents used to always recall this kind of proverbs in our day-to-day lives, where we are given the hint that whenever you are in a situation where you have to express yourself, where you need to express yourself, the first impression that you get about a person or about any situation is the last impression. That means you have to be very prompt from the first situation. So here the expression is trying to give you the extra meaning that our first attempt or our first expressions or our first thing, whatever we do in the first hand, is the first impression which is going to have a deeper impact throughout the situation, and it is the last or the conclusion. So the first impression is something which is going to have a greater impact on the conclusion. So here what happens, this kind of proverbs is applicable, or it is applicable when people were a bit not at par with the technology. So now, because the technology has overtaken our ethics, or we have turned into materials, we are materialistic in this contemporary society, these kind of expressions or these kind of proverbs and their meanings have some kind of outdated feel, where trying to give some kind of proverbs and applying those proverbs with our day-to-day life has become obsolete. So from this we know that whenever there is a proverb or there is a saying which has its meaning to some extent outdated, or which is not applicable in this present situation or in this present scenario, then we term it as the cliche. So you will go with the option cliche, and we have already seen that our option is number C. And because you all know what is simile, what is personification, what is synecdoche, so I won't go into the detail here, because I have to deal with a lot of questions for this session. So we have already done, go through the sessions where we have discussed, or where I have discussed what are figure of speech, and I have also tried a lot of examples to get into the session so that you can imbibe the quality of figure of speech into the general sentences or into the literary sentences. Okay? Moving on to the next question. Question number 4. We need to adopt dash the new awareness strategy and forced dash the government. So going with the options now. At times what happens, we have to move to and fro. So when there is the question where without going into the options, we can deal the question itself. From the question itself, the answer is to some extent rhetorical, where the question is giving us the hint about the exam, about the answers, at that time we don't need to go into the options. But when we are confused, a bit confused, we can go into the options, go through the options, okay? That will help you to save time, and at the same time it will give you the correct answer. So experience counts, experience matters when you are preparing for the exam at a continuous level, but it may be a steady level. So that is one of the proverb I just want to add here again with a little bit of dose of advice, is that slow and steady wins the race. So don't think that you are getting a lot of time before the exam. You have a month here to prepare for the exam, so you will be lenient or flexible at times while preparing. That won't help you, because in the long run what helps is that slow and steady. Each and every day, if you are catering to the needs of one concept or one idea related to your domain, so you are going to opt for more than, you have already opted for more than 2 or 3 options or 3 domain subject. So you have to look into these these domain subjects, and don't spare a single day. So because in between there is a festival coming, our regional festival Bihu is coming, so that will also make you a bit flexible in those 3 or 1 week day where you won't be giving time in your preparation. So before that I am telling you that there may be some pros and cons, there may be some positives and negatives, so you don't know what will happen in the future. So better to be very clear from this present day. So try preparing in a steady mode for the exam so that you don't lag behind, I am telling you. Within this session, I used to give a lot of advices, a lot of doses of advices, so that you can go into the thing where you are actually following us. So whenever you are going to reach your aim or you are carving for your aim, you need to follow someone. So following someone, following BPS is going to help you in the long run, because it is not only a crash course. The BPS here, we are not only providing the crash course for your CUET undergraduate exam. Actually, in the real terms, we are actually preparing you for the long run, for life, where you are going to opt for, appear for this kind of CBT based exams. Now most of the exams are turning to this mode of CBT, where computer based test is conducted, and you need to harness, you need to improve this potential for appearing in this kind of exams. Okay, moving to the options, going back to the session, we need to adopt dash the new strategies. So to and by. So we need to adopt option number A, to the new awareness strategies enforced by the government. So here what happens, again to, sorry, so we need to adopt. Now here what we are getting, the use of to in a different mode, where it is applying to some kind of rules, which is actually about new awareness strategies enforced. Whenever there is a rule is actually enforced by the government or by the organization. So enforced is something where you are actually forced to follow the rule, whatever it is. So whenever there is a body here, the organization, here it is the government, whenever there is a specific body to enforce some kind of law, we apply by the government. It won't be with the government, because with is something of a collaboration. The other options are confusing, where we have actually curated the question paper in such a way to confuse the students. So what happens here, try to go through the session in such a way that you actually are opting in your desktop or in your screen or in your laptop. So in that way what happens, in your mind you are thinking about option number A, but you are clicking option number B. A lot of students make this kind of silly mistakes, and they lose a lot of marks. Negative marking is there, and apart from that you are going to lose more marks. So be clear that what you are thinking in your mind, you actually execute that in your options. Okay. Moving to the next question, number 5. The entire team is in a pell-mell state. Try to find out the meaning of the words in the italics. Here what happened, our team had already planned italics. Italics means the slanting words, the slanting version. But here what happened, while typing there might be some kind of mistake, or there might be some mistake in the typing thing. So here pell-mell is a kind of a state which is referred to as the confused state. So pell-mell means confused. So the entire team was or is in a confused state. Try to find out the meaning of the words in the italics. Now what happens is that you need to be thorough with a lot of figures of speech, with a lot of phrases and idioms, so that you can exactly find out what the meaning of the word is. So practice makes man perfect. One more proverb which I am going to add is, practice makes man perfect, in the sense that you have to practice a lot. You have to revise a lot prior to the exam. So here what happens, pell-mell is the confused state, and the options we will read is to and fro. To and fro means going upwards and downwards, or the repeated movement. So that won't be helter-skelter. Helter-skelter is the confused state which we are about to reach our answer. Next is critical. Critical means the crucial situation, but here it is not critical, it is confused. Be very specific with the meanings of critical, confused. So it may seem to be similar, but they are not. Okay. Next it is the imagination. Imagination won't come here because it is the confused state. So we will move on with the option number B, that is helter-skelter. So I am trying these kind of sessions, I am trying to put a lot of emphasis on improving your vocabulary along with the simpler mode of the sentences or questions, so that at the same time you get a knowledge of the grammar section, and also you are going to improve your vocabulary and verbal ability. So the two things are going side by side simultaneously in order to enhance your potential. Yes, you can understand if you go into the deeper level of these sessions, where you will know or where you will feel that in BPS we are giving a differentiated mode of learning, where we are not with the mainstream or with the other centers or other coaching crash courses, because we are here providing in an intensive course where within a stipulated time we are providing students and champions like you with a differentiated mode, with a unique mode, where we are trying to inbuild the character of 2-3 specifications at the same time moving simultaneously. So you can understand what I am trying to deal with, or what I am trying to inbuilt in your personality. Okay. So moving into the next question, number 6. Wishing you many more candles to blow. Identify the figure of speech. Now again, many more candles to blow, when we use this sentence, or when we use actually this kind of a comment, when it is birthday, or when it is an anniversary, or when it is related with some kind of numbers, quantitative. So when it is about quantity, it is about some kind of numbers, we say wishing you many more candles. So that is a different mode, or there is a different medium of wishing someone happy birthday or birthday. So what is the sentence actually trying? It is actually trying to bring a specification, a turning point from the mainstream, wishing many happy returns of the day, happy birthday. It is different. So when it is different and unique, actually try to emphasize what the sentence is giving you the hint. Here it is trying to substitute the normal comment, the normal wish of happy birthday into the number of candles, and when it is substituting from one idea to the other, where the same thing is related, when the same thing is joined together, we term it as the figure of speech metonymy. So we will go with the option metonymy and nothing else. The other options, you know what are the meanings and concepts related to that. Question number 7 now. The fugitive tried dash get dash the van. So moving with the options now. The fugitive. Now fugitive, what is a fugitive? So you can see the sentences. What we have planned is that in the sentences itself you will get some kind of words where you are getting the information of some kind of new words. New words where which is not, some of them, most of the students know the meaning of fugitive, but there may be a few students who don't know the meaning of fugitive. Now fugitive is a person who is actually escaping from the police or from the authority, from any kind of authority or organizational body. So here fugitive means a person who is trying to escape or who has already escaped. So here the fugitive tried, again here tried, TOO is additional, it won't go. Tried off get will not go. Then tried to we can put to some extent where it is trying to get. That means here the option is reason. For some kind of reason we have applied the preposition to. To get of. Now see, when of the van, there is the object van. So here the person fugitive is trying to escape from the van or of the van. So when we put of and of, I have already spoken about this of and of. Of is something which is related to the content or the units, and of is something where there is a separation or where there is a difference between two concepts. So here the fugitive is trying to get separated from the van. So here the option will be option D. The correct answer is option D. Hope you all understood what is the meaning of the word fugitive, the use of preposition to. Moving to question number 8. Select the word that is similar to the meaning shrewd. Now you will get a lot of antonyms and synonyms in your question paper. So be specific that you know a list of antonyms and synonyms. Antonyms, বিপরীত শব্দ আৰু synonyms. Same meaning, সমৰ্থক শব্দ. So you need to know a list of antonyms and synonyms because at least 2 questions will be there. One on antonym and the other on synonym in your 50 questions, out of your 50 questions, where you are going to or where you need to opt for 40 questions. So you have the binding that out of 50 you have to opt 40 questions, not more than that. So shrewd, what is the meaning of shrewd? Acute, avert, shy, screwed. So shy it won't be because shy is something where you are actually feeling low. Shrewd means something where you are screwed. Avert means to go away, and acute means promptness or stubborn. So we will go with the option A, acute. Go to your dictionary or to your dictionary available in the Google dictionary. Try to find out the meaning of these kind of words and even the list of antonyms and synonyms. Question number 9. A person who can write with both of his hands, choose the one word substitution. 2 questions, at least 2 questions will be asked in your exam which will be related with one word substitutions. So be clear that you also know a long list actually based on one word substitution. So here going to the other options is just completely meaningless, but still which is, we have to know the correct word. Amphibian means frog who can live in water and land. Ambidextrous means the answer where a person can write or use both of his hands at the same time. So you have seen in some kind of screens or some kind of in some kind of videos that a person or a teacher can write with both of his hands. So using both of his hands at the same time, and the handwriting is also very good, is a person who is actually ambidextrous. So we get the answer ambidextrous. Ambiguous, what is the meaning of ambiguous? Ambiguous means which is vague or which is not clear. Next, ambivalent means who is present everywhere. So try to find out a list where you get the prefix am, starting with am. Amphibian, ambidextrous, ambivalent, ambiguous. So these kind of words, make a list. For today, your homework is like make a list of words with am. It may be 10 words. Try to find out the meaning of these words. It will help you to improve your vocabulary. It will improve your one-word substitution list, and it will also improve your antonyms and synonym list. So going simultaneously, you will cater to the needs of 4 concepts. Try to find out. Today's homework for you people is try to find out a list of 10 words. Apart from these 4, not including these 4, apart from these 4, try to find out 10 words starting with am. Okay? Question number 10. Stand up comedy is not my cup of tea. What is the meaning of the idiom? Now, in a sentence, you have to find out the idiom also. So, actually, the idiom is underlined or it is given in italic form in your exams, but here I am just underlining it is not my cup of tea is the idiom, where there is a figurative meaning here, not related with the cup of tea where you are going to have a sip of your tea or cup of tea. Here it is trying to relate that you are not interested. When we are putting here not, if there would have not been not the word not, it would have been interested. But when it is included here, we will say that it is not interested. Not interested. So when you are not interested in stand-up comedy, that means disinterested. So the answer is option number B. Next, question number 11. I have already said that the session will go a bit longer, and be prepared for that in the introduction of the session itself. So I am not actually differing from what I have actually said. Question number 11. Fill the blank with appropriate forms of collective noun. Now again you have to know a list of words related with collective noun, like a herd of sheep, a choir of singers, a school of fish, a gaggle of geese, etc. So dash of natives. When you see that the word dash and when it is related with natives, natives means the indigenous people of a particular area or a tribe. So we will have the option tribe here because that is the fixed thing. No other options will be applicable here because school, group, choir is related with the other collective forms, with other collective forms of nouns. So here it will be the tribe, a tribe of natives. Natives means the indigenous people, or original, we can say the original people. Hope question number 11 is clear. Next, question number 12. If garnishing is to food, what is harnessing? Garnishing means আমি যেতিয়া প্লেটত ধুনিয়াকে শেফে বা এটা ৰেষ্টুৰেণ্টত গ'লে ধুনিয়া বস্তুকে ধুনিয়াকে সজাই দিয়ে আমাক খাবলে কিবা অৰ্ডাৰ দিলো সজাই দিয়াটো কি বুলি কয় ফুডক যেতিয়া আমি সজাও হেতুক কয় গাৰ্নিশিং সো ফুড ইজ গাৰ্নিশিং ইজ ৰিলেটেড উইথ ফুড ইয়াতে যদি তোমাৰ টেবুলখন সজাই লৈছা তুমি পেন পেন্সিল বুক কপিজ হেতু গাৰ্নিশিং নহব যেতিয়া তোমাৰ মায়ে তোমাক ফুডখিনি ভাত দালি সবজি ৰুটি পৰঠা গুটেখিনি ধুনিয়াকে সজাই মেলি দিয়ে তোমাক so that you get the your appetite is there. So you get the incitement or excitement to have the food or taste the food. Tenekwa garnishing, tenekwa ke khojai dile amak ki hoy, the platter, if the platter is being decorated in a beautiful way, we term it as garnishing. Now what is harnessing? Then what is harnessing? Harnessing means to improve. Improving what? Is it wood, resources, both A and B, or none of this? So harnessing is always related with resources. So harnessing means improvement. So harnessing resources. Next, question number 13. Find the antonym of the word delirious. Delirious means something where you are continuously working for continuously working. So that is nothing else but restless. So the options, go through the options, but find a word, exact word of the meaning, the exact meaning from your dictionary. Try to find out words. That will also help you. In the place of finding delirious, you will get more 5 words related to delirious or related starting with D or DE. So in that way, it is going to improve your vocabulary. Next, question number 14. She has a brain like a sieve. Sieve mane hoise sakoni. Sakonit bostu thake joma hoy. Ami jeneke sah saku. So sieve is the thing where there are a lot of perforations. Perforation mane perforated skit. Perforation mane futa futa thoka. To sieve mane hoise sekoni. আৰু ছোৱালীজনীৰ ব্ৰেইন কেনেকুৱা সেকনিৰ দৰে মানে হয়তো কথাবোৰ মনত নাথাকে so when identify the figure of speech because this girl is actually her brain is actually compared with a sieve and the word like is used so we will go directly to simile. The answer is simile because we have the word like or as. Whenever there is the inclusion of word like and as, the comparison is made directly, we term the figure of speech as the simplest one, that is simile. Next, question number 15, and fortunately this is the last question for today's session. Consider the syllogism and try to bring out the conclusion. Because it is the last one, I just don't want to give the session a very simple ending or winding the session very easily. So the question is a bit longer, filled up with a lot of words. So try to read the question properly. Consider the syllogism. Syllogism. Now what is syllogism? So if you have gone through some kind of statements and conclusions, so when we have some kind of statements, that means some kind of provocation, and at the same time we are getting some kind of conclusions below the statements, we term the entire process as syllogism. And the syllogism is given here and try to bring out the conclusion. So out of the syllogism, that means out of the statements or statement, it may be one or more than one, try to bring out the conclusion. So what is the syllogism here? All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Again here this is a phrase where Jack is actually having no play, no extracurricular activities, and because of that his life has become dull or monotonous, or no kind of excitement or zeal for the next class, for the next adventure, or for the next work. So what is the meaning of this syllogism? You have to find out that Jack needs some extra time to complete his task. So I have already explained the phrase. Jack needs some advertisement and sales. No. Jack needs some amusement and recreation. Yes, to some extent. Jack needs to balance between work and recreational activities. Yes. So we will move with option number 3 and 4. So here 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 3 and 4. Now see one more thing, when we are going through this kind of options, what we are doing is our team here is trying to give you the options, like when we are going to the options 1 and 2, 2 and 3, option number C, the general clarification or the usual thinking is that option number C will be 3 and 4 and D will be 1, 2, 3, 4. But here there is a tricky point where the options need to be read very specifically by the students, because the options are the answers. So you know the answer, that the answer is 3 and 4, but you are clicking option number C will give you negative marks. Ultimately what happens, that you have read the entire question, you have tried you know the correct answer, but you have opted for a wrong option. So try to be very specific while opting, while searching the answer and while opting. Both of the things are very different but very coordinated. So you need the coordination in your brain and some kind of smartness, a talent to cope up with this kind of questions and situations of your exam. With this we come to the end of today's session. Hopefully the session is exciting and hopefully you are very much, the session is really helpful for you, and I hope that even though the session is longer and even though we have tried a lot to make you all people come into the session, relate to the session, these kind of sessions will help you. Thanking you for going through the session thoroughly.